So the one thing that this is a separate answer because I was either going to go one of two ways, but for me, if you look at or were raised around the Sunnah, which is the Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sunan Abu Dawud, and Sunni Islam as it was in the 90s, um, and then progressed in through to 2000s and is today. And you see the figure of Muhammad, who carried out night raids, took, I believe it was a third of all the booty, had countless sex slaves, took a woman as his quote unquote wife after he executed her husband, children, um, father, uncle, family, whole clan, and then took her as his wife. Married a 6-year-old and had every type of sexual relation with her except vaginal intercourse with her at the age of 9. Um, and the hostility towards the the infidels must die. You cannot tolerate in Islam. You cannot tolerate the existence of paganism or atheism. They must die. The Christians and the Jews can be allowed to live, but as dhimmis, as second class citizens. Coming from that and looking at, let's say, reading something like Romans or reading the words of Christ, where Christ, um, Muhammad would stand up on a plateau and pray while his warriors were in the heat of battle, and he would wear two coats of mail. Um, Muhammad demanded everything of his apostles and of his followers, but he could actually contradict himself, or and it actually can abrogate things to his own personal benefit continually throughout his life. And this is of the Orthodox story, the Orthodox telling of Muhammad. Again, people in the West don't really understand this. But then seeing Christ, who had to live up to everything, and his apostles fell away and were fallible, and he picked the most fallible people and then kept forgiving them. Or the woman caught in adultery versus the woman who confessed adultery to Muhammad. And then he said, well, go and see if you're pregnant. She was. Then go until you have a baby. She did. Go until the baby's weaned. And then once the baby was weaned, he stoned her to death. Versus Christ, who's without sin, cast the first stone. Also, I believe history does, and I could have a long talk with you on this. I believe history actually does show the necessity of the church, of Christianity, of historic Christianity, because we would not have gotten out of the Iron Age without the church, without Christendom. We could not have gotten to the microchip, to the space age. None of that. And I think the case has already been made. I think through miseducation, it's been lost. But if you take a place like Ireland, that peaceful, never got invaded, but through just convincing people of Christianity, became Christian, outlawed slavery immediately because it accepted Christianity and not Roman ruled Christianity. They had access to writing and reading became extremely important. Building roads and also building infrastructure to take care of the poor. Hospitals are uniquely Christian. I mean, the ancient pagan ideas were, and even in India up until very recently, if you were sick or poor or weak, that's because the gods meant it that way, or that's because you're an asshole in a previous life. The strong shouldn't waste their efforts on the weak. You might put your efforts into helping your own family and your own tribe, but you wouldn't go and help that stranger. A lot of this was even in ancient Judaism too. This is the parable of the Good Samaritan too. These qualities I believe, naturally occur in humanity, but it took this culmination of this murdered guy on a cross and these fallible people called the apostles, and this philosopher named Paul, and then 300 years of nonviolent martyrdom. And actually, you can see Christianity destroying slavery 3 times throughout history. But that would be just another way of looking at it. If you do come from, Christopher Hitchens even said Christianity is good, and so did Sam Harris and Ayn Hirsi Ali. For most Muslims, Christianity is the way to atheism. They have to become Christian first and then go to atheism, or else they don't get to humanism, or they need that detox thing. There are many who believe that the end result of at least Protestant Christianity is atheism. I would agree with that. But a form of humanistic compassion, atheism, not some of the belligerent stuff we've seen lately. All right. Peace to you. That's just the second thought. I won't keep making videos and bombarding you with it. As for my health, I will speak to you about that in private message. Peace to you.